So this is a review for An Itch in Time, released in 1943. It's the 417th in the series, and it's directed by Bob Clampett. You can find this on the Looney Tunes Gone Collection Volume 3 DVD set, and on the Platinum Collection Volume 2 Blu-ray set. So in case you haven't seen this one, and I can't show you the full thing here on YouTube due to copyright, it'll just get blocked if I try and upload the short for you. But in case you haven't seen it, a flea is looking for food around the corner, and he sees a dog with a rather large rump, and he proceeds to go and torment this dog for food around the corner. Meanwhile, Elmer is looking on and threatening the dog that, hey, if you don't stop scratching, I'll give you a bat. First up, you're going to see highlights of the audio commentary I did with my good friends SC McPeter and Blue Genocide, who also helped edit this video. Then after that, you're going to hear some new thoughts from me regarding things that I missed the first time round. So without further ado, let's get into it. And joining me today to also celebrate my birthday, May 10, is are my good friends Blue Genocide and SC McPeter. Say hi, guys.
Hello, happy birthday!
Yay. Happy birthday! If we counted up your birthday years, we'd be here all day. So
just about this cartoon, I don't want to derail it too much, but this is the first appearance of a flea. And we see this nice rump shot of the dog there. It's very round bottom.
Delicious
thumbnail.
Yeah, I got to put a bit of booty in the thumbnail. As I understand it, Sarah Berner does the voice. Except for one instance where it's like T-Bone or whatever it was, and Mel Blanc does that scream.
Yep, that beginning part.
Yeah. Well, this is a great cartoon. You know, maybe not my favorite Clampett, but it's enjoyable.
This one is a hidden gem. I really love it. I wish people talked about it more. One thing I really noticed about this short is that the backgrounds are oddly a little more stylized than usual. They're a little bit more flat, a little bit more flat on the colors, and it sort of really highlights it if you watch it closely enough. The backgrounds are a bit more stylized.
There have been several times where that silly song the flea sings has just gotten stuck in my head, and I'm so happy I don't have to hear it right now. Just because I don't need that in my head for the next 3 weeks. So that'd be nice.
I like how Blue mentions the song because there's a funny story that Ruth Clampett told on Cartoon Research, where how her dad first dated her mom, he didn't tell her what he did, and then she said one day her favorite cartoon was, and I quote, the cartoon with the flea who sung "There's Food Around the Corner," and he got to say, yeah, I made that.
I gotta say, I love this Elmer design. I mean, in the Bill Melendez commentary, they even mentioned that Elmer just looks really good in this one. Just some wonderful animation on him. Such a great looking Elmer. And you'll even get like a sort of a breaking the fourth wall sort of gag later on where he's actually reading a Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig comic book, Flea's Meat Chart. I love the animation of the dog especially. I mean, especially when you freeze frame a lot of it, just how, I mean, look at this, of him just getting angry. I mean, this is pretty much Blue's face when asking him to do yet another Inky short.
I just love Elmer just saying, don't squat your ass, Whoopi.
The back leg, how it just acts like an arm. Just little touches like that. You know, it's the stuff like that that just takes advantage of the fact that, hey, this is an animated cartoon, you know. You can't do the stuff in live action, so let's do stuff that you can't do otherwise. What are your thoughts on the A Flea character? I mean, I don't think it's the greatest Clampett creation, but I don't know, it's nice. It's a nice little...
He makes a great one-off character. Not sure why McKimson brought him back. That cartoon isn't very strong, though.
I don't know. Like you guys said, I think he's good enough for a one-shot, but I don't really care to see him again.
A few things I'd like to mention. One is that this joke that he's about to say that I better cut this out, this wasn't supposed to be in the cartoon, and if you cut it out, it actually loops perfectly fine. It was meant to be cut so we could keep the, I guess, butt-scratching stuff, but the censors didn't get it.
Oh, so they just left it in there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they just left it in there, and it's just been this great, infamous joke that just wasn't supposed to be in there.
Wow.
This cartoon's sort of a remake of a MGM cartoon done by Rudy Eising called The Homeless Flea, which is a pretty good cartoon, and really takes advantage of the high budgets. It has these great angles.
And then this gag would usually be cut from TV, you know, the whole Now I've Seen Everything, which debuted in Horton, the Horton short from earlier on that Clampett did. So that was the original commentary, and again, it's not on the channel because this short is not in the public domain. And apparently it was recorded on my birthday too. I forgot all about that, to be honest, but anyway. So the title itself is a play on "A stitch in time saves 9", and that just basically means you should fix problems while they're small before they become bigger ones. So not really much to it there, but that's what it is, and it makes sense to have the pun involving itch. Now, I've since learned that the song that's featured, and it's a real earworm, isn't it? The whole "Food Around the Corner", that was actually written by Clampett himself, and if he wasn't so good at directing animation, well, he might have been really good at writing songs, because that's quite catchy. It's pretty good. And sadly, only the blue ribbon titles remain for this particular short, but I'll have the known credits showing up for you throughout this review. So let's take a look at this short again and go through some of the things I missed, and also just some new observations having rewatched this short again. I love how we just open up with Elmer simply just enjoying himself, just reading a comic, enjoying the antics of the Wabbit, which torments him in other shorts anyway, but whatever, we won't go into that. Just reading a good book next to a fire, which sounds like my idea of a good time, really. So we see the flea bouncing in, and Clampett goes a bit Tex Avery here, where he's got the sign saying, "Yes, this is a flea, and teeny, ain't he?" It's not the funniest gag in this, but it's definitely similar to what Tex Avery would do with this sort of thing. So we end up seeing the flea, and I gotta say, I like the design. It suits this type of character, just going out prospecting for food, basically. But I do have to agree with the boys in the original commentary, and even upon rewatching this definitely works as a one-off character, and it's a nice idea here, but I don't think he works for any other installments, which, yes, he had a second short, and he was given the name Anthony Flea in that second short, and here he's simply known as A Flea. But as good as McKimson is as a director, yeah, he couldn't make the second one be anywhere near as good as this one. This one should have probably remained as a one-shot, because what else can you really do with this character? What, have this flea go on all sorts of different animals in different series of shorts? It would get old pretty quickly, I'd say. But I have noticed that Clampett really loves his gags involving objects being taken out from a character's crotch area, like here with the whole telescope. I think part of that is also Clampett really just loving to push the boundaries and seeing what he can get away with from the Hays Code. If the Hays Code paying attention, they may have actually wanted that bit cut, but no, it's still in here. And as soon as we see that dog's rump, which is a great drawing, I love the exaggeration there, we hear that earworm again, "Food Around the Corner." But get used to it, because we not only hear the song being sung throughout the short, but we also hear the instrumental version as well, which drives the short. And I love the dog's rubbery face when the flea jumps on him. In fact, it's another animation tour de force by Clampett's wonderful animation team. It's done just so well. You've got Scribner, McKimson, Melendez. So it's got probably one of the best animation crews at the time from any studio. Then we get the usual cartoon trope of getting the dog to sleep with a lullaby, and then the nice animation of the dog getting drowsy. It's nice, I like that. I like how instead of just biting the dog, the flea's basically prospecting for meat. It's kind of a weird thing, but I do like that added touch there. And we see that before he takes a bite, there's a meat ration. So this short was produced during the war. So it's a war reference where people had rationing stamps for certain items, and for a time it also included meat. So this was definitely something that was rather timely. And again, pretty much any animated bit with a dog in agony is amazing, and it's something that you can definitely slow-mo and really get a kick out of. Just absolutely amazing. And so the dog decides to solve his problem by biting his skin, like pretty much any dog does when they have fleas, right? And we hear Powerhouse while the flea escapes via a tooth door at one point. Just, the gags just keep coming and coming, and it's wonderful timing here as well. But one thing I notice is that when the dog's voice is in despair, and he does that whole high-pitched voice, it sounds like Stan Laurel in the Oliver and Hardy pictures. Whenever Stan ends up having a sook, he just does that whole cry and the high-pitched cry. I don't know if that was directly taken from that, but it definitely reminded me of it. Now, does flea powder help? Nah, it just becomes a winter wonderland. I mean, it's an obvious joke, but I think it works pretty good. So the dog really doesn't like baths, so he's immediately thinking the worst, that Elmer's going to put him in such a really small bath. But why not, right? Judging by his expressions, he just absolutely hates them. So it's either he just hates baths in general, or maybe he just hates the way Elmer does it. Who knows? Then we see a meat chart by this flea, and if you look closely, you can see Bob Clampett's name and a few other names as well on there who would have been staffers at the time. Nice little touch, but apparently this was approved by the US government as well, so not sure how that works out, but there it is. But there was one really odd edit where in one frame the dog is lying down, and then the next second, boom, the dog's face is in close-up, and that would have been, of course, going from one animated to another, and it just changes into this beautiful animation of the dog getting angry. It's absolutely incredible. And I know that's going to be my editor's face once he has to end up re-editing the reviews of the Sniffles cartoons that I need to do later on. But then it just changes nicely in the sweet dog face, so you got Elmer peering over from the comic book every so often. Just that face is hilarious. So now it's a battle of hiding from Elmer and then going out fighting against this flea, and all without, of course, Elmer not knowing. So got some great animation ideas with the foot becoming a hand and waving, and then he even has a bright idea to antagonize the cat for a bit just so the cat can scratch the dog. But Elmer's not having any of that, and the two melt. Just wow. The melting is really great. And we get more and more extreme with the dog literally changing colors in pain. The flea even uses explosives at one point. Just wow, they're really pushing things here, aren't they? We even get another war reference. Instead of air raid, it's the air raid shelter. Beautiful. Gotta love that. And that whole scene with the butt on the carpet, Clampett really did expect that to be cut. He just did it anyway, and he was surprised it was left in there. And that might explain why this short is 8 minutes and 30 seconds, so it's definitely on the longer side. Because if this bit was cut out, it would have been close to like 7.5, close to 8 minutes. But I'm glad they kept it in. It's a nice bit of animation. And once again, Clampett's playing with extremes, so the dog is having to stop as soon as he hears Elmer, and he just takes forever to stop. He's skidding, scratching. It's similar to what was done in the recent Bugs Bunny short, where Clampett plays with some extreme timing, and here he just continues that idea. So the dog hates having a bath so much that he even rips the door, basically. And I guess if you've owned a dog, and I haven't, but I know people who have, and some dogs really just don't like baths for whatever reason, they act as though it's the end of the world. So this bit of animation, yeah, I'd say dog owners might find this accurate. Not all dogs, some love baths, but I know a lot of dogs don't. Elmer then gets the flea, and the two of them end up having a flea bath, and we even have a Christmas reference with Santa Elmer. But the two end up becoming a Blue Plate special, and a Blue Plate special, for those outside the US, like me, that's basically a discounted meal used in diners that changes daily. We've got similar things here, but we don't call them Blue Plate specials. They're just specials or weekly specials. You might have a chicken parma every Wednesday for a discounted price, or half-price steak every Tuesday, or something like that. And I'm assuming after this short ends, the flea eats the two of them. I don't know. It pretty much just ends, especially after the cat decides to do the whole "now I've seen everything" bit that Clampett's already done in Horton Hatches the Egg. Wow, this short is fantastic. And again, I'm going to be throwing a lot of 9s and 10s. It's not my favorite of the Clampetts, but it's damn good. 9.5 out of 10. It's fantastic. Tour de force of animation. It's hilarious. It's a great idea. We're using a one-off character which works only once, but that's okay. And yeah, definitely worth watching. And again, you can see it on the Looney Tunes Golden Collection Volume 3 or Platinum Collection Volume 2. If it's copyrighted, I just can't play the full cartoon here. But that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.